Hi everyone, good morning. Welcome to Up with KREM. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Channing Curtis. Well, it is just about 8 o'clock this morning, and we are learning new details about how police tracked down the suspect involved in the investigation in the murders of 4 University of Idaho students.
Almost 2 months ago, Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonsalves were found dead. Police first investigated their deaths as a homicide. It wasn't until almost a week later police called it a murder. Yesterday, the man accused of murdering all 4 students was in an Idaho courtroom for the very first time. KREM 2's Nicole Hernandez was there along with family members of the victims. Nicole, can you tell us what happened in court?
Absolutely, Tim. So like you mentioned, this was Kohberger's first appearance in an Idaho court since his arrest exactly 1 week ago in Pennsylvania. The judge read off all of the charges against Kohberger, starting with that 1 count of burglary, then individually reading off each first-degree murder charge.
Count 2 alleges that you committed the felony offense of murder in the first degree. Did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation, and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonsalves, Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin. Do you understand?
Yes.
Kohberger's attorney asked the judge to consider setting bail. The judge denied that, leaving Kohberger in jail with 0 bond. The judge also approved no contact orders for the 2 surviving roommates and several family members of each of the 4 victims. The families watched the whole proceeding from the front row of the courtroom. Kaylee Gonsalves' family representative talked to the media after the first appearance.
It's obviously an emotional time for the family, seeing the defendant for the first time. This is the beginning of the criminal justice system, and the family will be here for the long haul.
The judge set the next court date for January 12th at 10 a.m. And in the next 2 weeks, Kohberger will need to have his preliminary hearing. That's where he will either plead guilty or not guilty. In Moscow, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.
Now, the suspect's initial court appearance is getting the victims' families one step closer to justice. In addition to the Gonsalves family attorney, the families continue to ask the public for their support to keep their children's memory alive. On Twitter, Xana Kernodle's family says, quote, "Now that the affidavit has been released, I ask everyone to put yourself in our family's shoes. I will continue to ask people to donate to Xana's scholarship endowment to honor her memory and keep her legacy alive." We also heard from the family of Ethan Chapin last week when authorities arrested Kohberger in Pennsylvania. In a statement, they say, quote, "We are relieved this chapter is over because it provides a form of closure. However, it doesn't alter the outcome or alleviate the pain. We miss Ethan and our family is forever changed." We also heard from Madison Mogan's family during a memorial service in Post Falls just last month.
Maddie has truly been a blessing in our lives. Watching her grow and mature into the amazing woman she become is truly priceless in our hearts.
In the meantime, staff and students at WSU and U of I are now breathing a sigh of relief now that Kohberger is behind bars.
I think a lot of us are relieved.
Well, now that they caught the guy, I'm not as afraid. But the week or 2 after the murders, especially because there was no evidence, or not evidence, but no details. It felt scary.
Classes for both universities start up next week after being on winter break. We have been reading and rereading those court documents since it was first released yesterday morning. So let's start off by taking a look at a new timeline investigators laid out in that affidavit. Since the beginning, we've known the murders happened early in the morning on November 13th, but now we are getting a closer look at what investigators believe happened. The new details lead investigators to believe the deaths happened between 4 and 4:25 a.m. Here's what happened starting at 4 a.m. according to the affidavit. Police say Xana Kernodle received a DoorDash order at the house at about 4 a.m. Cell phone data also shows she was likely awake and using the TikTok app at 4:12 a.m. A surviving roommate who lived in the house, referred to as DM in the court documents, told police something woke her up at about 4 a.m., but thought it sounded like Gonsalves playing with her dog in one of the upstairs bedrooms. At 4:17 a.m., a security camera in the area picked up distorted audio of what sounded like voices or a whimper, followed by a loud thud.
Investigators reviewed security footage from the neighborhood, and there were several sightings of a white Hyundai Elantra between the hours of 3:29 and 4:20 a.m. on that day. The same car drove by the house 3 different times. The 4th time the car arrives around the house at 4:04 a.m. On surveillance video, the car attempts to park in front of the house, but eventually drives eastbound down Queen Road. Police say the same car speeds away at 4:20 a.m. After that, police believe the car then left the neighborhood at Palouse River Drive and Conestoga Drive. The car then takes Highway 95 south of Moscow, then west and drives up Highway 195 north back to Pullman. In our effort to bring you more to every story, KREM 2's Nathan Hyun tracked all the locations where the car was spotted.
On the day of the murder, at 2:53 a.m., WSU surveillance cameras spotted a white sedan traveling on Nevada Street towards SR 270, which connects Pullman to Moscow. Police say that after the car left Pullman, cameras put the suspect's car in Moscow driving on Indiana Hills Drive, about 1.5 miles away from the victim's house. This was approximately at 3:26 a.m. Just 3 minutes later, video shows the suspect's car arriving here on Queen Road close to the victim's residence. And later in the report, we learned that the car exited and came into this area 4 times, trying to park at this residence. Police say video then shows at 4:20 a.m., the car exited the area at a high rate of speed. After leaving Moscow, documents show a WSU surveillance camera spotted the suspect's car driving north on Johnson Road at approximately 5:25 a.m. The affidavit says that 5:27 a.m. is one of the last times a camera spotted the white Elantra on the day of the murder, right here at Stadium and Cougar Way. We also learned from the affidavit that Pullman police tracked down the suspect's car to these apartments right here on November 25th. And when Pullman police tracked the plates on that car, Brian Koberger appeared as the registered owner. In Pullman, Nathan Hyun, KREM 2 News.
Now, another big part of the affidavit also explains how police tracked Koberger's cell phone locations in connection with the car. Now, investigators said that they couldn't find a record of Koberger's phone pinging off of a cell tower near that King Road home between the hours of 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. on the morning of the murders. Something they say in the affidavit means that the phone was either in a place where there was no cell service or was turned off or in airplane mode. However, the affidavit does say that other records were able to track the phone's movements throughout the day as well as the day before and after, which does match surveillance video of where the white Hyundai Elantra was. That cell phone is referred to as 8458 in the affidavit. The document says, quote, based on a review of the 8458 phone's estimated locations and travel, the 8458 phone's travel is consistent with that of the white Elantra.
All morning long, we will continue to bring you the very latest on the murder investigation here on Up with KREM. In the next 5 minutes, we hear from a genealogist about how police use DNA at the crime scene.
Plus, in our next half hour, we're diving deeper into that affidavit about what a surviving roommate says that they saw the night of the murders. In the meantime, you can text the word Idaho to our number 509-448-2000, and we'll send you a link to all of our coverage right to your phone.
Turning now to weather on this Friday morning, where we saw some very early morning showers. That has since concluded and have fizzled out, so there's no more mention of rain or snowfall in the forecast for today. And what is going to be probably our driest forecast that we have for the upcoming days here. While there is a large storm system off the Pacific coast that's going to make no headway inland, so it's just going to stay as scattered showers out west and overall mostly cloudy skies out east, though there is a fair bit of clearing even right now, so we might actually see quite a bit of sunshine through the morning hours here. It's a little bit cooler over Coeur d'Alene, where it's 26 right now versus 32 in Spokane, and areas on the Palouse a little bit more mild in the mid-30s. Next week's outlook, a little bit warmer than average, but a little bit wetter than average as well, as we see nearly daily chances for rain starting with this weekend.